Hello, welcome back to How to RPG. Today it's all about non-player characters. This is Game Master Preparation where we explain how to do it and then we do it and we're going to make some non-player characters, some NPCs, whatever game you're playing. You see before you the Game Master's book of non-player characters by Jeff Ashworth. It's a very good book. It's got a lot of NPCs in it. We have the Pathfinder Game Mastery Guide for First Ed Edition, and I know you can see the 5e Player's Handbook, and surprisingly very handy for making your NPCs, for those of you who want to do so. We have the right tools, and there are more tools we can use. But right now, that's not the issue. It's all about lining it up and grabbing some food. I will put up a poll so you can respond to that. Right now, I know what you're going to be thinking as soon as I put this poll up, but I'm going to put it up anyway. And that is, why have I asked this question? So my suggestion to you is, the first part is a presentation where I talk about building non-player characters and how to make it a bit easier for yourself. And then we go into actually the process. So grab your food, drink, make sure you're comfortable, and let's get cracking, okay? He says he's waiting for the setup to actually come through on YouTube, and that he knows that everything is actually working correctly. Right, that's basically what I was doing. It's called stalling, people, stalling. Hello, welcome to How to RPG. My name is Fred Weller, and today I want to talk about role-playing games. And the topic for today is Game Master Preparation. This is in fact Lesson 2. Building non-player characters or NPCs, because I know as a game master or a dungeon master you probably need a little bit of help and guidance around this. It's one of the most rewarding, I think, and also time-consuming aspects because you get lost in it sometimes. So the overview for today, or purpose, is we're going to be looking at quick non-player characters, how to get them done, building a non-player character, so when you actually build them, and then making your NPC names or non-player character names, creating those motivations, developing some non-player character aspects, selecting the non-player character's appearance, and constructing the non-player character stat block for your game system. And then of course I will be covering some miscellaneous recommendations like I always do. Now, with everything that I cover on this channel, my intention is to explain the process of building a non-player character for your role-playing game, demonstrate the process of building that non-player character, and give you the opportunity to participate in the process of doing it so that you can do this as a group rather than on your own. And I think there's a lot to be said for group construction rather than trying to fight or struggle on your own. This makes the whole process far more interesting and quite exciting at times. So, quick non-player characters. How can we go about doing that? What's the best way to make that work? Well, first off, I would say the easiest way to craft a non-player character is to get someone else to make it for you in advance. It's very simple. And the Game Master's book of non-player characters has hundreds of pages of ready-made non-player characters. There's about 3 on each page. Then you have the Pathfinder's NPC Codex, which is also full of pre-made non-player characters. Now that's built specifically with stat blocks for Pathfinder First Ed Edition, but it does have a lot of other stuff. So you might find there's a lot of stuff in there that's not going to suit you unless you're playing Pathfinder. But if you are playing Pathfinder, it would help. Any published adventure has heaps of non-player characters that can be stolen or repurposed in your games. And the internet is full of non-player character generators that make a non-player character with a push of a button in a few seconds. And I'm going to suggest to you the NPC generator. It's a website, you can go check that out. It doesn't give you complete control, so there are some limitations on that. You can also find that the Game Master's Book of Random Encounters has a percentile table for randomly creating NPCs with 100 different options. And it goes over all sorts of different things, from the first name, second name, what they're carrying, what they want, and lots of stuff. Also, you'll find that, and that's the Game Master's Book of Random Encounters. Now, I know that sounds strange because now I'm about to refer to the Game Master's Book of Non-Player Characters. And that there, I've done reviews on all of these books, by the way, has random NPC tables. Now, they're not quite as large as the one I just described, which was 100 different options. You get a lot of different tables that have 20 options. So you roll 20-sided dice, or you select from 20 options. And it's still very useful. And that is probably one of the easiest ways to get your NPCs done and dusted. Now, it's all very well having pre-made NPCs, but sometimes you actually have to do something, like you have to build the NPC yourself. And the first point of call that I think you probably want to look at is giving the NPC or non-player character a name. And there's a couple of different strategies you can use. A non-player character name is probably the most important step, which you can also get like an electronic name generator to do. Like, you don't have to do that work yourself. If you're happy for a machine to spit out the name for you, or select from a whole lot of different options, you can do that. There is a website called Fantasy Name Generator, and you just press a button and it gives you a range of different names that you can select from. And it does everything from different names all around the world, every country you can imagine, but also different species or races from fantasy genres. Then you have Donjon, that's Donjon. The website has a fantasy name generator as well. It's very similar to the one that Fantasy Name Generator has in terms of what it does. It gives you a selection of names, but it's just not quite as complicated, and it's probably not as modern as the Fantasy Name Generator one, but it's still used by a lot of people. The Game Master, also should I say the Master the Game website. If you go to Master the Game, there's a website and it has a name generator, and you'll find it in the tab under Resources, and that will give you a whole bunch of ways of creating names for your NPCs. Then we have Makers Forge Games website. So that's Makers Forge Game website. And it has a name generator in the generators section. There's actually a tab that says generators. Go to there, you'll find the name generator there. There's actually nothing wrong with using a standard name that you know, or an exotic name of people or a person that you've met or you know of. Certainly porting that over into your game, there's no real issue around that. It's not difficult to make a list of non-player character names that you can use later, and I recommend doing this. If all you manage to do is make a list of names for your NPCs, you've succeeded in achieving quite a bit, okay? Because you don't know if you're going to need them, but they're there, and at least you have a name for them, because often we don't have to reveal very much about our NPC. Sometimes the name is just enough. Use the sample names offered in the role-playing game handbook. Often there will be a player's handbook or a role-playing game handbook, and you'll find probably under the races or species section, there's a sample of names for that particular species or race that you can port over and use for your NPCs. Not just a player character, but you as a game master or dungeon master can use them as well. Popular culture. Any kind of name from popular culture in a book, in a comic book, in a magazine, in a movie, all those sorts of things, even maybe a play. You can use those, port them over into your game. And then I would say Sly Flourish has a random name generator list. Now, it's not actually a generator, it's just a list of names. And he's just made it up. It's in an article that he has on the internet, and you'll probably find that there's quite a few names you can use there. This is just an example of probably what you want to do when you're preparing your NPCs. Have a nice big list of names. Okay, that's the names section, but we haven't actually done all the different aspects of our NPC, and we're going to do all of them. Non-player characters need to have a motivation. It might be a complex motivation, it might be a simple motivation, but they need to have something. The motivation of any non-player character is vital for portraying and interacting with the player characters, so we need to have that there. So pull a simple motivation from real life. If the NPC has got a very simple and obvious occupation or function within your adventure, then you can just use a simple motivation from real life that you think would fit. So if it's a shopkeeper, maybe their purpose is to sell goods in their store, and maybe their decision is they want to swindle the characters and get them to pay more than they should. Maybe that's their motivation specifically for the player characters, but their ultimate goal is to make money. That's a very simple motivation. Motivation tables for villains and NPCs can also be found in most Game Master guide books for any kind of role-playing game. There's usually, if there's a Game Master guide or a Dungeon Master guide of some kind, you will find in there's usually a section that gives you a whole lot of motivations for villains and NPCs that you can use. The Game Master's Book of Random Encounters has a table on page 239 to 244 with non-player character objectives and motivations. And there's 100 of them. There's 100 different motivations there. You'll also find that Game Master's Book of Non-Player Characters has many random tables scattered throughout the entire thing that covers wants and needs for non-player characters, and you can port them over as well. Now, if you have the Pathfinder Game Mastery Guide, you'll find that on page 94, this is first ed edition Pathfinder, you'll find there is a long list of non-player character goals. It's actually very good. I would say it's probably one of the better ones that I've seen out. I wouldn't say it's perfect, but as a Game Master book, outside of what Jeff Ashworth has been producing, I would say it's pretty good. And you'll find a few in most of the Dungeon Master guides for D&D as well. Okay, that's your motivation. Now we need to start filling in some of the gaps. And that is the aspects, the non-player character aspects. And this is going to be covering quite a few different things. So the depth of a non-player character is created by giving them a function or occupation within your adventure, a personality trait, some sort of ideal or ideals, maybe a bond, flaws, and some type of secret. But you don't always have to have a secret. The D&D Speak website has a bunch of random tables where you can select or generate up to 100 different personality traits, villainous character traits, non-player character jobs, and other aspects. It's a very good resource and it's completely free. You don't have to pay a cent for any of that. There's also the Spontaneous Dungeon Master Companion. If you go to the DM's Guild website, you'll find that there is a resource called the Spontaneous Dungeon Master's Companion, and it's got a pretty good breakdown of all the sorts of things you might need. I wouldn't say it's perfect. There are times when it certainly doesn't look like it's not high production. Okay, this PDF is pretty basic. Then also, if you go and look at the Game Master's Book of Random Encounters, it has a table on page 239 to 244, as I mentioned before, and it's full of non-player character secrets and obstacles, things that you can put into your non-player character that the players will hopefully try to tease out over time. The Game Master's Book of Non-Player Characters has many random tables and entries scattered throughout the entire thing that cover secrets, obstacles, and other details for your NPCs. Okay, so it's got pretty much all the tools you need. A very easy way to develop a non-player character and their aspects is by selecting a background from the Player's Handbook for Dungeons & Dragons 5e. One of the best resources I've ever seen is the background section. Not so much for players, although I'm sure it does have some uses for players. But you can use those backgrounds to fit your NPC and then randomly roll or select the personality traits, the ideals, the bonds, the flaws from the tables presented. And that sort of fills out things quite nicely. You can also roll between 1 and 6 Rory story cubes. These are cubes that I've talked about before that assist in inspiring ideas for a non-player character and their aspects. And you're using the pictures on the cube to give you an idea of what to build into their nature. I have already mentioned, but I will mention it again, the Pathfinder Game Mastery Guide on page 94 to 99 has a huge list. It really is a large list of non-player character rewards. So things that they can reward somebody for doing something. They might have a secret. There's a lot of secrets there. There's a lot of occupations. Really good list of occupations, actually. Then you've also got personality characteristics and backgrounds, all of which are incredibly useful to you. Okay. Now, we haven't finished because we still need to dress our NPC. And when I say dress our NPC, I mean we need to give them some sort of an appearance. So what a non-player character looks like can help define them at a surface level, but it often is, it's not vital, but it's very, very useful. At a surface level, the appearance can be very useful. If you don't have time to find a picture for your non-player character, then create one important physical feature or characteristic that makes them stand out. Okay, do they have an eye patch? Do they have a scar? Do they have a tattoo? There's got to be something. Do they have long braided hair? Whatever it is, it's got to be something that makes them stand out compared to every other NPC that you have in your game. The D&D Speak website also has a random table for selecting or generating up to 100 different physical traits for non-player characters, and I do recommend going and checking out. It's a very good resource. If you have access to the internet, then you will find hundreds of non-player character portraits on Pinterest. But this can also be a trap because it sucks away all of your time. What you'll find as a general rule is it's very difficult to find exactly the image that you wanted. Okay? You might find you wind up spending more time trying to find the perfect image to fit the idea in your head, where what you should be doing is finding a picture you like and building the NPC around the picture, so you don't have to worry about doing any kind of long searches or having to adjust or modify the image in Photoshop or Paint. Pathfinder and similar role-playing games have decks of face cards that can also be used. They're very helpful, but like any non-player character portrait that you might be looking for on the internet, it can be difficult to find the perfect picture. So what you do is you select a card that you're going to use for your NPC, and then you write to the card rather than the other way around. Drawing a picture of your non-player character might be an option if you feel confident in your drawing skills and you're not going to feel too self-conscious about doing it. There's also a lot of artificial intelligence software. So Mid-Journey artificial intelligence software can create an NPC from a few, I'd say a few text descriptions, but it can give you some really strange results sometimes. Quite often you'll get an image that isn't anything like what you had expected. So artificial intelligence can be really useful, but also it has pitfalls. And then this is something I didn't realize, but a few of my subscribers and patrons do this, and that is Hero Forge. Hero Forge is a miniatures customization website, and it's a good place to make your NPC. So what you're going to do is you can build the actual miniature, you can color it, and then once you've done that, you do a screen capture of the image, and you now have a picture that you can pose however you like, or position from whatever angle you like for your NPC, and you're done. And it looks three-dimensional, which is kind of cool as well. Okay, I've said a lot about sort of building the aspects of your NPC that are sort of the fluff aspects, okay? They're still very important. Stat blocks. Let's talk about stat blocks. There's just nothing quick about building a non-player character stat block for combat, so don't bother. Almost all role-playing games have a creature or monster book with generic stat blocks for commoners and combat NPCs, so just go use those. The Pathfinder NPC Codex is full of pre-made characters, stat blocks, so it's got information on the NPC, okay, written text, but it also has a stat block. So if you're playing Pathfinder First Ed Edition, you can probably go and just use that. Then there's DOLS, that's DHOLE, S, house, Doll's house, Doll's Holes, should I say, not Doll's house, Doll's Hole website has a huge library full of free Call of Cthulhu non-player characters. So if you're playing Call of Cthulhu, then you can pull from there quite easily. Then you have Donjon, the website, that's DONJON. It has non-player character generators that also create stat blocks for different game systems. Much to my surprise, it can do that as well. Then you can look at something like the Monster Manual for Dungeons & Dragons 5e, if you're playing 5e that is. Has a bunch of general combatant stat blocks for NPCs in the back of the book, including the commoner. If you go and look at something like the Dungeons & Dragons 5e sidekicks, you'll find that they have medium stat block complexity, and you can find that information in Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, or the Dungeons & Dragons Essentials Kit. You can probably even get the free draft for it if you download it from Unearthed Arcana. And if you want to make a more complex stat block for your Dungeons & Dragons 5e non-player character, if you're playing 5e that is, then the website RPG Tinker is a good place to go. That will allow you to do that pretty quickly. Now, with regard to other role-playing games and systems, I was not able to find somewhere where there was a tool that allowed you to build the stat block for that system. Most of them seem to be 5e. That's a shame. If I find more, I will let you know about them. But that's for the future. Now, whenever I do one of these, I always like to give some sort of miscellaneous recommendations to make sure you can fill in the gaps. And my first advice to you is combine all of the different methods and techniques that I've talked about to help you when you're trying to get your non-player characters built. If you're struggling, use all these techniques. If you don't get to use your non-player character, then save it for another time. It's not lost work. You can use it later on. It's possible, too, that the players will have their character kill your non-player character after you've spent a lot of time on them. So don't invest too much time in it. And if you have spent a lot of time and they do kill them, chances are that you'll get to use that NPC again, because they probably didn't even give you time to introduce that NPC, so you can just repurpose all of that at a later date, and then you'll be fine. You just move on, okay? But it does happen. Players do unexpected things, and yes, they can kill your NPCs that you spent a lot of time on. I'm hoping this was useful to you. I want to thank all of my patrons who support me on Patreon. All the information for this is uploaded to Patreon, so you can go and download it and use that as a resource if you want to, with all the links that I've talked about. So thank you for watching, and hey, till next time, keep rolling those 20s. Okay, let's go over to chat, and then we'll get started on making an NPC, eh? Now, you might be wondering, I don't know, maybe you're not wondering, but why I have not considered trying to build tools for NPCs in the live streams. Because we've been doing monsters, we've done locations, we've been doing magic item tools, like we've been doing a lot of building tools for you to use. And the reason I haven't been doing that is because I feel like there are free resources on the internet that have already done a really good job. And D&D Speak and Donjon and various other websites that are completely free have like 100 options. You don't have to go and buy a book. I've given you books that I would refer you to, but there are so many resources out there that I've seen people put together, and they're very good. So I don't think we need to actually build a tool. If I ever build tools for non-player characters for you to use, I have to figure out how to do it better than it's been done before. And right now, I don't know that I can do that. And I often don't think that it's something that would work without me having a really good hard think about how to improve what has already been done before, because it's been done so well in the past. Okay, let's go through the chat. Got Fred Hubber. How's it going, Fred? How are you? What does the BBEG want, and how are they trying to get it? Okay, yes, that's if you're dealing with the big bad. If you're dealing with your main villain, maybe that's something you'd certainly want to answer. You got tornadoes there, Fred? Okay, be careful. Our version of Dr. Evil must have egg-shaped followers. Okay, sure. Do anything for bacon. I think, doesn't everybody do everything for bacon? Byron Lee. Hello, Byron Lee. How are you? I sometimes have NPCs assist the party in my game, though I'm trying to be careful about how powerful they are compared to my players, which is good. I mean, look, NPCs fill lots of different roles, and when we were talking about adventure building, all right, building an adventure, which was last week, I did discuss kind of the different functions of NPCs. I didn't go into it in this presentation because they really fall into a couple of categories. You have NPCs that are there as a villain. You have NPCs that are there as a quest giver or a patron or a mentor. And then you have your NPC that is the helper, that assists them, that provides information. And then you have your NPC that's just there as a wild card. Okay, and so they're really broken up into just a couple of categories. There's not much else to them. Avoid NPCs traveling with a party. Well, so so I wouldn't say that's necessarily the case. It depends on how comfortable you are with that happening. I've had it happen to me in the past, and I mean, sometimes it's been good, sometimes it's been bad. I wouldn't say it's always a bad thing. It depends on how big the group is. If it's a small group, then maybe a few NPCs is good. But I'm always going to encourage you to have the players control a companion. An animal companion, it seems to be the thing to be done nowadays. But henchmen or henchwomen or hirelings or followers or something like that still works. Some sort of humanoid companion or a sidekick, they all work quite nicely. You don't even have to use an NPC. That way the Game Master frees up a bit of real estate in their brain. You put it onto the players. Hello, Buried Axe, how are you? In some horrible drug den? I don't know. I have no idea what... Yeah, I'm trying to work out what you're trying to say here. No fond memories. I don't know what... Yeah, okay, all right. Okay, Prepare, Cook and Survive. Hello, Prepare, Cook and Survive. Hi, Fred. Okay. You're watching while you're painting and doing chores? No problem. You keep doing your miniature painting. That's fine, and we will get on with making some NPCs. Number 2, hundreds of unused NPC sheets. Yes, well, you look, they can be used. You've just got to find that time, the opportunity. Put them into a folder. Question. Will this NPC be disingenuously helpful, wealthy, or position of power, critter? Humble, vengeful, planted. Okay, all right. Okay, let's get on to actually doing some construction. Okay, because that's why you're here in the first place. So let me do that. And rock this over, and I believe, where is it? I have a sheet template already drawn up for myself, which I will probably have to enlarge so you can see it. Well, so I can see it. My eyes aren't that great. And let's get... you will need dice, people. You will need dice today. We're probably going to use dice. I'm going to use dice for sure. I can guarantee it. Okay. All right. So I'm just firing up my phone and getting it ready to go so I can track your chat as we do this. And okay, play me an ad. Of course you will. Yeah. There we go. End. All right. Now, before I get started, I think yep, that's fine. That looks good. I think maybe today we will use standard polyhedral dice, and we might use the story cubes as well. And where did I put the story cubes? Okay, let me just grab them. I'll be back. Give me a second. There we go. Okay, all right. I got my story cubes just in case we want to try a different method for today. So our first point of call, as you remember that I was discussing before, is that the wrong side? How did that happen? Okay, all right, that should be better. First point of call is usually the character name. So that's what we're going to work on, and that's the question I'm going to ask you. Hashtag create a NPC name. Okay, that's what we're going to do first. That's our first task. So I've put into chat, rattles like a desert snake. I saw Goonies in a horrific environment, sorry, responding immediately to the poll. Oh, I see. I hear a lot of people have really horrible experiences in movie theatres in North America. I have not really had that myself. But then I don't live in North America. It's a very different environment, I'm assuming, because I honestly, I don't have too many problems. I think the worst thing I've ever come across is when my auntie had somebody throwing potato chips and junk food at her and giving her a hard time about her acne. But, you know, we managed to wind up getting a whole lot of junk food for free as a result of that. So that was quite handy. Oops, I've messed that up. Right, let's just do that again. Okay, and then it's bold, underline. Now, those of you who are here, feel free to chuck in a name. I mean, I will create names if need be. That's not a problem. Part and parcel. Okay, Fred has got the first name out. Oh, am I going to be able to actually read that name? That is a heck of a name, dude. Bartholomew. Beer gut. Bartholomew Beer gut. All right. Buried Axe has got, oh, okay. Pervon up. Pervon. Up. Pervon up? Or was it Pervon? I think it's Pervon, right? Oh, hang on. Pervon. Are you trying to insinuate something there, Buried Axe? Is there a hidden message in that name? I suspect there might be. Could well be by the looks of it. I'm wondering. Okay. So I'm just going to do a little bit of formatting here. Short version, Bart, son of Homer. Oh, Bart, son of Homer, I see. Not quite sure what that was all about. Short version, Bart, son of Homer. What? No, we're not going to do. I'm not going to put down Bart, son of Homer. That's not going to happen. Try again. Not putting down Bart, son of Homer. You can do better than that. Pay von up, pay up. Oh God. Vath dada. Dadu. Vath dadu? Vath dadu. Really? Vath dadu. It's going to be one of those days. I can see it now. Vath dadu. Jeez. Questionable. I think there's something going up there. I haven't picked up on it completely. That's what I'm suspecting. Bart is a diminutive of Bartholomew. Oh, I see. Didn't see that coming. Not at all. Okay. So let's do another one. Okay, look, if you can't come up with some names, I'm going to go over to the website that I was talking about before, and we're going to just use that instead. Dandu. Really? Is that what we're after? Dandu. Vath Dayandu. Okay, all right. I'm getting the jokes, people. So fantasy, name, generator. I've used this before. That's why it's not so difficult to find. It's actually pretty easy to find. So this here has a bunch of different names. So we've got fantasy, folklore, we've got real names, you've got places, you know, you can do anything under the sun. And there are other types of generators there as well. Darth Vader. I'm not putting down Darth Vader. Vath Data. Yeah, well, I put down Darth Vader because that's what you wrote. If it was Darth Vader, I wouldn't even put it down. Anyway, let's go to folklore. So you can go pretty much anywhere under the sun with this, right? It can go any way you like. So I thought it would be nice to pick something. It seems to me that you guys are sort of going down the villain route. So maybe we need to find something that's more of a villain name or a even almost possibly a monster name. You use the name generator? My face is red. I use the name generator. Okay. You can use the name generator. We can just go in here and it gives you a whole bunch of different names for different things. We'll go over to the generator. We can do that. Languages, dice, armor, should be names. Where is it? In maps. Add to. Go to random generator. Here we go. This is the random generator and it just gives you a bunch of names and you just decide what you kind of like. So you go through the list and pick out what you think is going to work for you. Did I say villainous? Oh, did I not change the stream? And I've put down villainous. Oh, it did. Oh, okay. We did villainous last time, didn't we? That's why you're focusing on villains. Oh, now I understand. Okay, that was not actually my intention. Does the name indicate a title? Okay, now that explains a lot. That explains quite a bit. Tavel. So we've got Tavel. Let's put Tavel in here. Tavel. We don't have a surname at this present time for Tavel, but that's fine. I usually, what I do is if I'm going to use a generator, I'll look at the names and anything I can't pronounce or I struggle to sort of, it doesn't work for me, I get rid of. Notar, Notier, Natar, maybe. Zenik. Not too bad. I'm not against Zenik. Venek and Zenik. Zenik and Venek. I think I like Zenek more than I do Venek. So we'll go Z. Zenik. Got no surname at this present time. We'll hit the button. Title can be part of the name. Madam Pervon up. I'm not writing that, Buried Axe. I'm not putting that down. I'll put Pervon as in, yeah, but I'm not doing that. Sorry, not putting that down. Here we go. So male names, we can get male names here. Just press the little button and you get a whole bunch more. Sadich wouldn't be too bad. Deathus, you could probably use Deathus. I don't think it would be too much of a problem to use Deathus. But Sadich, I kind of like Sadich. And Sodas, don't like that one very much. But yeah, let's go Sadich. Sadich. We don't have a surname for it. That's right. What do you got here? Hello, Damon. How are you doing, Damon Bradley? Real character from my DM's lore. Fugu Hay. All right. There's a joke in there. Countess are always more convincing than Baroness. Baroness always more submissive than Duchess. Okay. I don't know where this is all coming from. What is this related to? Oh my gosh, you've got to be kidding me. Fred, that is a long-winded name. Her Baron. Her Baron. Free Rand. Oh. This is how you don't name your NPCs. Seriously? There's no way I would ever use that name. I'll put it down, but oh my gosh. Villains. Yeah, well, look, if you want to make villains, we can make villains. I wasn't actually, I mean, but I suppose that that tends to be the NPC that a lot of people wind up making is the most important NPC being the villain, correct? The Red Baron? Yes, I thought you were taking it from somewhere. Yeah. Is this random NPC? Well, it could be random NPC. Hello, Matt. How are you, Matt? Help me here, Matt. We need a name for an NPC, and I'm getting some weird ones. People are trying to go in odd directions today. A little on the lewd and a little on the crude, and certainly insinuating. Now, I'm all for having fun, but too much. Anyway, Sizer, don't like that. Emia, SL, no. Ella, no. Maid. You gotta be kidding me. Really? That's a name? Okay. Nebinial. None of those I really like. Renim. I don't know that I like any of those either. Let's try that again. Deba. Sheely. None of them really sort of Tidril. Thivel. I don't know that I'm going to take Thivel because it's so close to Tavel. Jill looks like just a different way of spelling Jill. Ivana. What else we got here? Melum. It doesn't sort of jump out. None of these actually jumping out at me. Peric. I kind of like Peric. Let's try Peric. We don't have a surname for them at this present time. No, we don't. But we have a first name. Usually I do about 10 names and then we move on. What do you got here? Not necessarily random NPCs. I'm just trying to get you guys to come up with some names. That's really all this exercise is start with the names and then we'll do the other bits. That's really what I'm trying to do. Okay. Yes. Look, if you're stuck on villains, we'll do villains. It's fine. Because I accidentally left the word villainous in it. Yeah, everybody's a little bit off track today. I don't know why. Look up Prince Charles' full name with titles. It breaks the 200 character limit. Oh my gosh. Jorah the Dispeller. Really? Okay. Major Jorah the Exiler. Judge Jorah. Judge Judy. I know where this is going. Let's put down Jorah for now. We don't no surname. One more name and then I'll wrap it up. Okay. Ivana Blue Corgi. Ivana Blue. I'm just going to leave it as Ivana Blue. How's that sound? I think that's a better idea. But Ivana Blue Corgi just seems really, really odd. It sounds like we're naming a dog. we're creating an NPC that's a corgi dog. Okay, all right. So, motivation. I feel like we're definitely going down that route right now in terms of motivations. But let's see how this can work out for people. And I will present you with a bunch of ideas. Oh, you want Peric? Okay. Hercule, maybe. 2 P's. It's a little, it always fits. So here's the problem when you have a name, first name and a surname, and they both start in the same letter. Is it like a movie star? It comes off as being, so Amy Adams comes off as being a false name or a fake name. And when you're playing a role-playing game, when you do that, your players almost immediately know it's a fake. It's probably an alias. Do you know what I mean? So it sounds good, but does it always work? Hodanen NPC. I don't know. What do you mean by a Hodanen? Okay, so let's hashtag. Let's do some motivations, and we can come back and sort out names later, since that doesn't seem to be working for us right now. Motivation for NPC. So let's have a look at some potentials. Somebody's got some ideas. I will read out a few things. You'll let me know which ones sort of stick for you. So here we go. So one of their goals, what do they want? Motivation. Secrets. Okay, let's try this one. I'm using the Pathfinder book right now. Dog face humanoid. Oh, I see. All right. Okay, so let's have a look at this is on page 94 that I was mentioning. Get a good night's sleep. Well, that ain't going to work for us. Sire a child. That's an NPC goal. Motivation. Okay. I don't know about that. Prove noble heritage. Visit the next village. Okay. Solve a mystery no one else really cares about. That's kind of interesting. Earn enough money to retire. Climb a mountain. We have to name the mountain, don't we? Get a different or a better reputation. Okay. Make friends with PCs or player characters, which is a good goal to have on an NPC. If you really want to get them used, then having them built to actually want to make friends with the NPCs, with the player characters, is a good idea. That's a good motivation. Erase past failures with a single dramatic act. Oh, that sounds risky. You want to take over the world. I will write down the first one. I want to take over the world. Okay. Byron Lee, what do you got here? They should make a Dungeons and Dragons adventure out of the Goonies. It would be a fun adventure to play. Well, they couldn't make a adventure out of the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon, could they? Because apparently, even though they managed to put artwork all over the new starter box, they didn't actually decide to make a story for those characters, which honestly I think would have done far better than what they've done. Not to say that the new starter box is not a good box set in terms of the adventure. I think it's reasonable, but yeah. The Goonies, would they ever be able to get the rights for it? I don't know. I suppose they got the rights for Stranger Things, didn't they? And they got the rights for Rick and Morty. I just don't know if they'd do it justice. I guess that's the problem. Because none of those were very good. they're all a little bit hit and miss. They never really took off. Okay. Move out of the parents' house. Oh my gosh. Really? This is an NPC motivation. Get into better shape and learn to fight. See the ocean. See a particular holy text, a fresco or building. Find a new home for a mistreated animal. Get into the history books. Return home despite obstacles. Overcome a significant personal vice. Get proof that the afterlife exists before dying. Travel. Get married. Humiliate a rival. Find a missing child. Learn to gamble. Oh dear, that doesn't sound like a good idea. Carry on a family tradition. Like enlisting in the army. Okay, all right. Go on a pilgrimage, marry a childhood sweetheart. So there's a lot of different ideas here. I'll keep reading through these and see what you people are sort of deciding to stick with. Desires to eliminate the race of the bandits that killed their family. Okay, all right. Let's put that down. Eliminate the... I'm just going to put bandits that killed their family. Eliminating the race that killed their family. I don't know about that. I'm going to go with this one instead. I've taken part of it and taken a bit out. Destroy the settlements to zealously defend nature. Oh, so Damon, you're going. What you're kind of looking at is an extreme environmental activist. Destroy settlements. Destroy settlements encroaching on nature. Okay. So we've got that one. That's good. Got that down. Damon is slaying the suggestion box. He's doing very well, I have to say. Doing very good. What else we've got here? They're all wholesome, missing the intrigue facet of the gem of the adventure. Yeah, we'll see how we go. I'm just going to keep reading these out and we'll see what you guys come up with. Marry a childhood sweetheart. Commit a holy text to memory. Complete some sort of creative work with a play. Carve a statue. So remember, we don't have to build secrets into the motivation. That can be later on. The motivation can be just, it doesn't have to be something nefarious. It doesn't need to be too outrageous. Find a better job. Avoid bankruptcy. That's interesting. I actually like that. Because when people try to avoid bankruptcy, they can often get themselves into a lot of trouble, don't they? Bankruptcy. Okay. I like that a lot. That's quite cool. End use of magic. Okay, hang on. So what you were trying to say is end use of magic. What's it? Ban the use of magic. Ban the use of magic. I think that's what you're trying to say, Fred. That's actually not too bad. It's quite good. What do you got here, Damon? Or even simply to live. Perhaps the villainous NPC's very existence threatens the others. Yep, maybe. Let me just keep reading through these and you'll just decide which ones you like or don't like, or if you'll come up with something else. Impresses a disapproving parent. Impress a love interest. Achieve a higher social rank. Start their own business. Help a child get a good start in life. Become the recipient of an actual miracle. Okay. Redeem the family name. Hunt and kill a particular sort of monster. It's pretty basic. Continue to live in the family estate despite danger. Solve a mystery. Okay. Cross an ocean. Discover the meaning of life. See an angel. Of course. Murder somebody. Okay. Get cured of a disease or other affliction. Become a monster. Become a hero. Marry a princess, and rule a country. So there's quite a few in that book. It's not too bad. It's not great, but it's not too bad. Or even simply to live. Yep. Control the weather. Okay. Fred, you've got here control the weather. I kind of like this. It kind of makes me think of Rainy, is it the Meatballs cartoon or movie cartoon that came out, where they create weather storms and food rains down. Control. Okay, so let's say here, learn to control the weather. Okay, not bad. Motivation. These are all very big, widespread sort of things, which is fine. A certain book that sought the origins of magic. Okay. Seek the origin. Seek a book with the origins of magic. Okay, got it. Done. That's quite a few motivations, and we've got names, we've got motivations. We need to make sure we do some of the other stuff as well. We haven't got 10 there. I might just add in a few of my own. There were a couple here in this list that weren't too bad. To be marginally taller. Joke. Yes. Could work. High charisma beggar with no eyes, not seeking sight, but seeking useful. This is a spy. Here we go. So, Buried Axeblade wants to be a spy. I actually think that's not too bad. That's a pretty good idea. Wants to be a spy is not bad at all. What else have we got here? I was reading through this little list here, which isn't that small. It's actually got 50 different ideas, which is quite a lot, and they range in their nature. No. No. Okay, no, I think I'll leave those. I'm not really, if I would like them, I would have grabbed them. So I'm going to leave those. Gather armies to serve the BG's goal. All right. Yes. Destroy your world to save others. Save theirs. Okay. So destroy the world is a pretty common one, but we'll mark it down. Destroy the world. Hello, Pale Rider. How are you doing? To destroy the world to save. Destroy other worlds to save their own world. Okay, I've got that. Okay, very good. Century Deport. How are you? Hello, welcome. Mundane motivations, but not caring about how the method may harm others are my favourite villains. Yeah, very mundane. I mean, you can have whatever you like. I'm just writing down sort of what's going to work here. You want to retire. I'm good and a bit drunk, Fred. Okay, all right. I kind of got the impression that might be going on. That's usually the case, isn't it? Wanting to place a more competent person on the throne, but making a deal with a demon or dark god. So, making a demon, making a deal with a demon to control the throne. I think that's 10 ideas. That's enough. So function. Function is like occupation. So hashtag. What is the NPC's What is the NPC's function or occupation? There we go. This is the first live stream I've made it to. Love the videos. Well, I'm glad you've made it to Sensory Deport. Always need more people here in the live streams. So I can read through a whole bunch of these, but it's top of the hour. I've given you a question and a task. It seems to be we're going down the track of creating a villain, which we did last time about 2 months ago. So we'll make another villain. That's fine because I didn't change the title. So that's on me. That's my mistake. So you're going to come up with a function, like an occupation for your NPC, and I will write them down, but I will be back in 5 or less minutes. I'm just going to take a quick break, and then I'll be ready to go again. So you work, and I'll be back. Don't go anywhere. Okay, I'm heading back in, people. Wow, there's a lot of people in this chat. What just happened? How did that happen? There's so many people. We went from like 10 people and then now there's 20 people. That was unexpected. Okay, you guys are throwing out some ideas for the question. I had said occupation. What are we dealing with in terms of occupation? Is there something going on that I'm unaware of? Because I was not expecting so many people to jump in. Anyway, or at least maybe it's the time zone thing. Who knows? Okay, let's take down some ideas here. Let's go back to the workstation, which is the screen here, and we're working on that. And I should be able to press this button, and we're back into it. Okay, almost ready. Let's get my head out of the way a little bit. I don't need to be that big. There we go. That's better. All right, let's take down your ideas, shall we? Let's see what you've got. Thank you to everybody who showed up, wherever you came from. Much to my surprise, I was not expecting this at all. Okay, tackle sensory DOP. Well, I don't understand. Buried X, I've got no idea what you're traveling about, saying. Raiding travelers. A bandit. A bandit. That raids travelers. Okay, so they're an outlaw, basically. British English. Thank you. Outlaw. We've got an outlaw. Of course we've got an outlaw. Okay, next. That was Fred. Pale Rider, motivation. Convincing the population they are the true god of a devil demon to have. We've done motivations. We're moving on. Alchemist wizard. Even alchemist wizard. All right, sure. Alchemist wizard. Maybe I'll never get to this list that I was going to read off. Politician or a crime boss. Damon, I think we put down both. A politician. Isn't a politician just a crime boss? Just an officially recognised crime boss? It shows you my opinion of politicians. Okay, politician. Crime boss. Or crime boss or lord. Kind of like crime lord more, but probably not that way. Politicians. Politician. Why have I got politicians? Why is it insisting that I have the word politicians? Yeah, whatever. Okay, next. Ruler of minor barony. So a baron. You want a baron. So baron, that's Fred. Sensory Deport, you have got a renowned scholar. It's very Moriarty, isn't it? You got the Moriarty hat on. Renowned scholar. All right, so we've got renowned scholar as a potential function, which is function is occupation, people. Function is occupation. Byron, you've got here former mercenary turning thief, planning to become the top crime boss. I think we've got the crime boss already. Okay. Function to get crushed in high charisma. Okay. All right. Moving on. Betray and shamed war master. A betrayed and shamed war master. Okay, so a war master. I'm just going to put war master. Function is just, it can be as simple as a couple of words. It doesn't have to, it's not trying to tell too much. A pirate cult leader. Damon, you're on fire. I'm for it. Pirate cult leader. Right, we've got a pirate cult leader. My thumb keeps wandering around my stream. Hard to press the like. I totally understand. I am struggling to read everything you're writing down. I'm reading it and I can't understand that. It's too hard. A goblin shaman. You want a goblin? Okay, so you're sticking with, so you're wanting a shaman, but you want it to be a goblin. I haven't specified race or species, so we'll put down shaman. Shaman. I won't say goblin shaman because it's going to be more fun to mess with that. Okay. It was always more fun. So race or species. I guess that's where people want to head, but I don't want to head there yet. Okay. I usually like to leave that last. What do we got here? Newbies, don't worry, I'm used to writing 1,000 characters, not 200, so I have. I see, okay. In your DM bag? Yeah. Cult leader. Oh my, yes. There are so many cults now. The cult is such a I guess when you look at it, the cult is such a trope. It's title. Oops. It's all right. It's all right. So we've got almost 10 different things that they could have as a function. So their function or occupation. I'll write down occupation. I've missed a C. I missed a C. There we go. Function, occupation. Okay. We kind of know what they're going to be doing. They are the villain. Okay. Because it seems we're doing villains today. So that is number 10. Okay, it's the villain. Right. So skipping race, because I know people want to go there, but we're not going to go there yet. I want you to get your dice out, because we're going to do some personality traits. Okay. I think it would be fun. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the player's handbook. I could roll Rory's story cubes. I've got Rory's story cubes. We could do it all with this. But I do that so often that I'm going to use this book. Now, I'm not trying to sell you this book, people. I'm not telling you to go and buy this book or whatever it is. I mean, however you feel about Wizards of the Coast. But it has a really good tool in it, and it's the backgrounds, okay? And they're all going to be lost with one D&D, more than likely. We probably won't see them ever again. They're probably not going to include them. What about a wild card? Yeah, potentially. Yeah, but let's deal with selecting a background that would be suitable. I'm going to use the player's handbook for this. We're going to pick something that fits in with what you guys have been talking about, and then we're going to use the table of traits, personality traits, ideals, bonds, flaws, to fill out some of the gaps that we need to fill in, right? And we can do that fairly quickly too. So an acolyte, I feel like we're going with criminal. So I think the background criminal is probably the best way to go. We'll go with page 129 in the player's handbook for 5e. And there's a bunch of them here that are listed that we could roll, but I'm not going to bother because I think ours are better. And what I want you to do is I want you to roll a catastrophic hashtag. Here we go. Hashtag roll 1 D8. If you got your dice in front of you, roll a D8 for personality traits. So that is your task. Get the dice out. There are 8 options on this table. We don't have to take them. We could come up with something. It's really completely up to you. But for those of you who have got dice and you feel like taking part in that aspect of it, start rolling some 8-sided dice. And we'll go from there. I'm going to just have a drink of water. Now, for those of you who don't want to roll dice or you don't have dice, my suggestion to you is present a personality trait that we can use for our villain. Since it seems to be that is what we're building today, is building a villain, what would be a cool or interesting personality trait for them if they are a villain? Yep, that's the aim right now. So Damon, you got a 3, Century Deport got a 6. I'm so glad to see the new people have got dice close by. If you ever come to my live streams, make sure you have dice with you. So number 3 is, this is the personality trait. The first thing I do in a new place is note down the locations of everything valuable, or where such things could be hidden. Okay. All right. So our first personality trait. Buried Axe got a 2, a 3. You got a 3. All right, let's get down. So number 6 is also, I don't pay attention to the risks of a situation. Never tell me the odds. Okay, so that's actually not too bad. I would like that. I don't pay attention to the risks in a situation. I will add this as a separate one. Never tell me the odds. But we're also going to go back to Damon's one. We're going to sort of turn it into something a little bit shorter than what we had before. So the first thing I do is, in a new place, is note down the location of everything valuable. Let us mate. So I guess what we want to do is, I assess all locations for valuable resources or items. Okay, they're really basic in terms of personality traits. Okay, they're very villainous. They kind of fit that. Right, so that's number 8. So we've got our personality traits. Unless somebody has something they want to put down that I can actually understand. No, I hope this helps. Castro the villain. You take over a stone giant's ruins, painting the ceiling as blue with diamond stars for sparkle. I'm not sure how that's supposed to go. T-Strom pass south. I don't understand what you're trying to say, people. It's lost on me. Okay, let's deal with the ideals, bonds, flaws. Okay, and then we're going to deal with secrets because I've got a table for that as well. So hashtag roll a d6 for now where is it? Ideals for ideal, bond, and flaw. Okay, let's see some dice. Yeah, an analyst. That's exactly where my head was going with this bearded axe as an analyst. That's exactly what I had in mind. So I'm just going to do this. Lift this up a bit. Down. Down. Don't need that there. Backspace. Oh, it's just getting annoying now. Backspace. Okay, ideals. Bonds. Secrets to go down, and it's flaws now. Flaws. Okay, and secrets we'll do shortly. Where is it? Bold, underline. Okay, so we've got some numbers coming through. Good. So we can start working on that. Very, very happy. Good. So first number. Fred has rolled a 2. So for ideal, we have freedom. Chains are meant to be broken, as are those who would forge them. Chaotic. So it's very, very chaotic. I think we'll take the first part of that. Chains are meant to be broken. Actually, let's go even further with this. Laws are meant to be broken. Let's go with that. Ideal. Laws are meant to be broken. Nice and simple. Hashtag. Number 6, Bearded Axe got a 6. Let's put number 6 into the bond. Someone I love died because of a mistake I made. Okay, so that's actually interesting. We have a villain who has a little bit more going on. So let's take that one and go, someone I loved, died because of a mistake I made. There. So we're kind of humanizing our villain a little bit. And then Damon, you got a 2. So I'm going to use the 2 over here for the floor. And what is our floor? Number 2 comes out as, when faced with the choice between money and my friends, I choose the money. I always choose the money over my friends. That's probably where it needs to be. 4 and 5. 4 and 5. Well, we've got ideal, bond, floor, and look, we could have more than one, so you don't necessarily need to use the same ones. There's a couple of other numbers here people have rolled, so I might use those. Yeah, just roll one rather than 2. I can use the numbers though. So 5 and 4. Would 5 work for ideal? If we roll it back to 5. People. I'm loyal to my friends, not to any ideals and anyone else. I don't really feel like it's broken, but I don't feel like it fits either. So we might just leave that. Number 4, greed. I will do whatever it takes to become wealthy. Now that's a bit more like it. It's probably more ideal for a villain. So let's do that one. I will do whatever it takes to become wealthy. And that sort of fits in with the laws are meant to be broken. So that doesn't sort of branch off too far from that. So that works out all right. Okay, next. Somebody rolled a... Yeah, okay. You rolled 2d6. Red flag, red flag. Okay, there's no need to red flag anything. I've got no more 6-sided dice, so what we'll do is we'll move on, and I'm going to go into secrets. Now, I've pulled secrets from various places before. What I want to do this time is I'm going to use the Pathfinder book, because I'm pretty sure there's a nice big list of secrets in here that I've been dying to read out to you for quite a while. NPC secrets, yes, there are 50 of the little suckers. It's a lot. So let me read these out to you. And while I'm reading them out, you're going to roll a percentile dice. Because this is a 1 to 50, you have to roll percentile dice though. Hashtag. Roll percent dice for a secret. Let's see what you get. That's not really a secret, Damon. It's not really a secret. I mean, I know you're going with this. It probably is a secret, but it's not really a secret. We can do better than that. We can do better than I am the bad guy. Let me read these out while you're rolling dice. Anyway. This is fantasy. It is. I don't know where you guys are going with all of this, but anyway. Mad Rude Bro. Hello, dearie. How are you doing? Okay, so here are the NPC secrets. This is in the Pathfinder Game Mastery Guide for First Ed Edition. It is on page 98, and there are 50 of them here. Here are the secrets that I'll read out. Knows where a magic item is buried. Knows the best fishing spot. Knows who the murderer is making liquor illegally. Okay, knows why no one swims in the mill pond anymore. Okay, that's interesting. Knows how to safely cook a poisonous fish. Is having an affair. Steals from their neighbours. Is a habitual liar. This is really for lower level or less important NPCs, I would imagine. Is secretly related to another NPC. Knows what happened to all of the rats. Is being blackmailed. Drinks heavily. Has a secret stash of funds. I like the idea that they drink heavily. is beaten by his or her spouse, knows proper ways to read a treasure map, is obsessive, collector, and hoarder. So they collect all sorts of stuff. Beats offspring regularly. Oh my gosh. Is quietly religious. Knows location of abandoned hideouts. Okay, we got some dice rolling going on here, which is good. Let's see our first number. First number came in. 58 is from Fred. 58. What is 58? 58 is knows how to get the oracle to answer truthfully. I don't think that's going to work. We're going to leave that one. 74. Sentry Deport. What do you got here? 74 was knows how to placate any angry ghost. That is odd. Again, I'm not sure what to do with that. Damon, 38. What do you get for 38? Is quietly religious. Wow. Yes, Bible fire. I was thinking that myself. Big, huge wow. Let me keep reading. Keep rolling those dice, people. I feel like the 3 numbers we got on percentiles aren't going to do it. So those of you, Fred, Sentry Deport. Okay, Fred, rolling again. That's the way. Keep rolling, people. Let's get some more in here. 32. 32 I've already read out. Knows proper way to read a treasure map. That is... okay, all right. Given all the things we're trying to achieve, it's an odd secret to have, isn't it? It kind of works, but kind of doesn't. Keep rolling dice, people. I'll keep reading these out. Knows a particular monster's favourite snack. They're a spy. I would be tempted to say I love the idea that they are a spy. Okay, here we go. 95, Sensory Deport. 95 you got here. Has some troll blood in their family. Oh, yes, please. Oh, yes, 93 you got. Has some orc blood in the family. Oh, no. No. After seeing that one, that is the one we want. That is the one we want. That is much cooler as a secret. Has some troll blood in the family. That is a very odd secret. Now, what does that mean? That potentially means that our villain might regenerate. Yep, that's the one. They might regenerate. Doesn't sound good to me. 67. 67. I don't know what 67 is, but Sensory Deport, I will have a look. Sensory 67 is, where are? Knows some local secret. All right. So I am going to, I might just keep reading out some of these different motivations for NPCs. They're not necessarily for a villain. They are kind of they're very broad. They're designed for a range of different NPCs. I'm really liking the Pathfinder First Ed Edition Game Mastery book. I've got the Second Ed Edition one now. Pardon me. I've got the Second Ed Edition Pathfinder Game Mastery book. I'm hoping it's as good as this. If it's as good as this, or better, that would be wonderful. Okay, let me just get you a new task. Well, we could do appearance, but I'm kind of tempted to leave appearance to the end, and instead I'm going to give you a different task. We're not going to do a stat block because I just don't feel like that would be very useful in this case, because I don't know what you're playing, people. I have no idea. But we'll do a race or species. Let's do that. Okay, and I'm not going to get you to roll. I'm going to get you to just pick something. Hashtag pick a race or species for the villain NPC. There we go. New task. That's your task. While you're doing that, I will be reading out all these different secrets. I got about halfway through. Hears voices in the graveyard. Oh, okay. Knows who really runs the neighborhood. Knows where to contact the Fae. Is an assassin. The one about hearing voices in the graveyard, it would be good if you had that attached to somebody who was like the Undertaker or the Gravedigger. Is an assassin. Has a secret illness. Ooh, that's quite interesting. Knows why no one in the village eats meat anymore. This is weird. Okay. They're all vegans. Maybe that's it. vegetarian. Knows how to get the oracle to answer the truth. Oh, I've already read that one. Engages in some deviant behavior. Well, it's a villain. Of course it's going to happen. Knows command word for a magic item. Owes the local moneylenders substantial funds. Worships an evil deity. Interesting for secrets. Knows some local secret. Has a secret identity. Oh, good lord. This is Superman, right? This will be Superman. Okay, we got Gnome Mind Flayer. I better write those down. Gnome and Mind Flayer. Mind Flayer. Mind Flayer or Illithid. I think I got it right. I hope so. All right, throw out some more ideas, people. We've got a villain. I can tell you a little bit more about that villain in a second, but we're doing all right. I feel like we've got most of it down. Was a very difficult creature prior to resurrection. Oh, reincarnation. Oh, now my group loves reincarnation. Knows how to placate an angry ghost. Well, I've read that one. Is a member of a secret local cult. Is wanted for a crime. Well, of course, if it's a villain, they probably are. Or maybe this is the first time, I don't know. Murdered their spouse. Ooh. Makes secret donations. Lost paladinhood due to cowardice. So a fallen, hello Overboard, hello, how are you? How are you doing, Joe? So Overboard is a patron and a moderator, and he supports me on Patreon so that I can keep doing this every week. And yes, we do this every week, literally. Game Master preparation, it's one of our things. So the lost the paladinhood due to cowardice, I really like that. Is a paladin working undercover? An undercover agent, I feel like it's more spies. God, I love spies. Anyway, is the bastard child of a noble. Knows where the heir to a throne sneaks away to visit an attractive peasant. Is terrified of a particular monster type. I've already read out that has orc or troll blood in the family. Knows where the meteor landed. Woo, okay, what is the meteor about? Genasi, yes, we can have Genasi. Knows someone is not what they appear to be. Okay, so that's 50 different secrets in that little pocket book. That's pretty impressive, people. I was quite impressed by that. Now I know 5e has a big list as well, and tables and so forth. But when you look at them, it's not explicit enough as to what's going on. In my opinion. Genasi. Okay. We've got 3 species. We could pick anything under the sun. We could make them gnome with some troll, perhaps a rock gnome. Well, we could have them be we could just go if they've got troll blood in them. It's too obvious that we don't want them to be a troll. That would be too much. I'll put down the obvious one, human. We can just make them human. Rock gnome. Well, we've got gnome, rock gnome, yeah. That's all good. That's fine. What do they look like? Since we're not getting very much out of people in terms of race and species, let's go with Yuanti, Buried Axe Blade. I'll put that down in a second. Hashtag. What does the villain look like? And that's a question. So this is one major feature. Now, remember I talked about a major feature. You want them to be a mutant. They could be a mutant. Let's put down mutant. Prepare, cook, and survive. And let's put down Yuanti. Because Yuanti can kind of appear to be all sorts of things. So Yuanti is like, snake Humanoid. Basically a snake humanoid. That's what it is. We know what it is. Okay. How are you doing in terms of what they might look like? Now there is actually another table, and I haven't been throwing these all at you, but I will. Oh my gosh, here we go. We've got some we've got a whole bunch of ideas flying my way now in terms of what they look like. That's great. That's awesome. So going back to this book, I'm gonna shout the praises of this book quite a lot, because it does so much of it really well. The number of NPC occupations in here is just astounding, people. If you're really sort of struggling to figure out what to do with it, it's really good. But appearance, there's in a section, I believe. Now, an old Advanced Dungeons and Dragons had an appearance thing as well. Now, where is it? Why can't I see it? Random name generator. No. That's that. Personal characteristics. No. Oh, physical characteristics. NPC physical characteristics. Let me read a few of these out, and then I'll write down the ones that you guys have presented, okay? So this is on page 95 of, again, this Pathfinder pocket book for the Game Mastery Guide for First Ed Edition Pathfinder. This is what it's got. They've got warts, bad breath, big nose, long fingers, stubby fingers, boils, very clean, very white teeth, dazzling eyes, sweet smile, beautiful curves, muscles, dirty nails, dirty hands, calloused hands, an eye patch, eyeglasses, eyeglasses, I think it's a monocle, enormous sideburns, yellow teeth, scratches a lot, sneezes a lot, compulsive blinking, bites nails, obviously dyed unnatural colour hair, avoids making eye contact, okay, they're not quite, okay, sweats a lot, giggles, hobbles, so they got a limp, jolly looking, cracks knuckles, whistles when talking, cross-eyed, okay, harp-lipped, rotten teeth, generally filthy, tattoos, many tattoos, covered in tattoos. Okay, we go. Now, obviously, they didn't want to miss the tattoos section, did they? Clearly, they wanted to get it all in there. There's 100 of these, by the way, in terms of different things. This is why I didn't want to ever do this, because making tools like this would just seemed a little bit silly. One pierced ear, pierced ears, pierced nose, pierced lips, oh good lord, tribal scar or on forearm, winks a lot, hacking cough, spits, dreadlocks, dirty coloured eyes, missing teeth. Cool. When it comes to appearance, you can go for a lot of different things. Scarred, twitches, laughs nervously, lisps, limps. Well, limps is the same as the other one, that basically you have trouble walking. Okay, one-eyed, missing a finger, scarred face. Okay, there's a lot of repeats here. Picks teeth nervously, no teeth, oh good lord, no fingers on one hand, bald, combed over bald patch, shaved head, curved hair. Oh, so this is, okay, curved hair, curly hair, long hair, short hair, blonde hair, black hair, red hair. Okay, this is grey hair, big ears. Oh, that somebody was pulling my legs. Fat, tall, thin, short, homely, handsome, beautiful, mustache, beard, stubble, obscenely fat, strangely tall, unusually short. Yeah, okay, there's a few that they try to get the 100, didn't they? Double chinned. Now I feel like I can definitely do better than this. Double chinned, thin lipped, very hairy, eyebrows meet, wide mouth, missing a hand, club foot, missing a leg, missing an arm, horrible face scars. I've gone over scars again. Clawed hands, webbed hands, scar from pox, terrible face disease, covered in cysts, covered in pustules, major deformity. Okay, all right. Okay, now I feel like I don't feel so bad. I probably can do better than that. But anyway, let's write down the ideas you put down for appearance, because you have a few ideas here, and we'll get them down. So, buried axe. Oh, you're feeding. Okay, you're feeding your Tasmanian devil. Okay. Disfigured rock gnome taller than average. So, disfigured. I'm not going to say rock gnome. I'm just going to say disfigured body. There's something about their body. They're disfigured. Okay. All right, it's your dog. Got it. 23. I don't know what 23 was on that list. But there are 100 here. What would 23 have been? Bites nails. Appearance. It's not quite what we were looking for. It's kind of physical characteristics, but it's not appearance. What else we got here? Disheveled. So prepare, cook, and survive. Disheveled, pale, nervous tick, decently have. Okay. An oversized nose. So you've got a few ideas here. Oversized nose. Now we can use more than one, but we don't necessarily need to do that. You put too much in, you make it too complicated for yourself. It's up to you, really, but yeah. Nervous tick. So pale, complexion. That doesn't look right. That looks wrong. I spelled complexion. No, complexion. Okay, I got that. I think that's what you wanted to put down here. Class, Druid of the Rubber Circle. Well, I wasn't looking for a class. I don't think we need to have class with our villain. They can just be whatever they need to be. Piercings, tattoos, scars. Tattoos. Body piercings. That's really all it needed to be. You didn't need to say that every single piercing wherever it's going to be. Tongue, ears, belly button, nose rings, silver hair, purple eyes. Silver hair. Purple eyes. That'll certainly make you stand out. Purple eyes. Silver hair. Maybe yeah, you'd stand out then probably. Fun mirror, belch, beard. Okay. The Ardern has a better. I don't know what you're talking about or referring to in terms of the Ardern, but if it has a better one, that's good news. I love that idea. Hunchback, backwards head, one arm noticeably longer now. Well, deformed body. I think that kind of goes in that. A cook. What are we doing with cook? You lost me a little bit there. So we've got a few different things that we could do with that. I don't think that's too bad. It's not brilliant, but it's not too bad. And I think that is that nailed down. So you got an NPC, it's a villain, you've got your basic. Now, when you're doing your NPCs, people, you do not need to write them like a story. You probably want to. Now, you wouldn't use all of this. You would just take one or two of these. Probably one. Okay, you probably only want one occupation. You probably only want one motivation. Although two is fine too. You obviously only have one name unless they have an alias. You pick your race that you want them to be. You don't give them too many personality traits. It's too hard to play the NPC as a villain if you've got too much going on. Any ideals, bonds, and flaws that you have need to fit with each other so that they're going to work, so they're not too contradictory. Your secret needs to work with it. And then your appearance, as I said, only one is really absolutely vital. The rest you don't need to worry too much about. So let's give them a surname. Let's give them. I've got maybe 5 minutes and I need to go. Okay. Hashtag. What is the villain Villain's surname. Villain's surname. That's what we're going to do. Late 70s. Ardern Grimoire was another tabletop from the late 70s, early 80s. Interesting. Good to know. Thank you for sharing that with me. Cook is from Ardern University in 1988. Okay, good to know. I'm not putting up. I'm not putting the word up. It's not happening. Not putting up. Not happening. Not that one. Grimoire, though, we might use that. Travel Grimoire. We'll use your Grimoire here. Pierre von Grimoire. No, Travel Grimoire. Travel Grimoire. That's what I'll use. Grimoire. Oh, you can't help yourself, can you? Travel Grimoire. Okay. Well, we've already got that name in one of the NPCs already, so it doesn't make any sense to use it again. So it needs to be something else. Now, another place you can get surnames from is if you've got an idea of what you're wanting to do. A lot of, as I said, a lot of role-playing games have names in the species and race section of your book, so you can go and you can port from there. That can often be very helpful. I've found that immensely helpful at times, just because there is such a variety. It's one of the things I worry that they may remove from books, just to make space for everything else, because it's getting harder and harder to print books and them to be cheap enough. None of those are sort of going to work for me. Let's try another one. Family names. That's all horrible. Let's try another one. No. Let's try another one. You guys were talking about a gnome before, so maybe we can use a gnome name. A gnome name. Grogfather. 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 Sedich. Jorath Grogfather. Who is Grogfather? Out of the ones that we have here, who would be Grogfather? Zenek Grogfather? Per von Grogfather? Chokehold shortened in Chalktum. Chalktum? Zenek Grogfather? Sadich Grogfather? Jorath Grogfather? Per von Grogfather? Okay. Grogfather. I don't know if any of those sort of work. Per von Grogfather, Zenek Grogfather, Sadich Grogfather, and Jorath Grogfather. Mickelslab? Grogfather. Let's try that. That's not so bad, I guess. Let me keep going through and see if I can find what I was looking for, which is a decent name. Family names. Thorngag. Zenek Thorngag. I actually like that. Ivana Cooper Grog. No, I've got blue, and I actually like that. I think that works more. Fred, I think that was your idea in the first place, wasn't it? Ivana Blue. Zenic, Thorngag. Thorngag. Can we use Kappa Grog? We've already got a Grog already going on there. So I've got Kappa Gog. Jorath Kappa Gog. Frogfather. Grogfather. Thorngag. Gag. So this here we could trouble. Yeah. Jorath Kupa Grog. Oh, it doesn't flow very well. Doesn't flow very well. And if anything, it's a little yeah, it's a bit tricky. Okay, I think at this point we're going to call it quits for today because I need to go to work, and we've built an NPC. Obviously, it's taken a lot longer than it would normally take me to, but that's because we're building it on live stream. Do you know what I mean? When you build it with a group of people and you're getting their ideas, it would take a lot. It's going to take a while. If you're doing it on your own, it's going to be a lot quicker. That's just the process. But I do want to thank everybody who took part today, because without you, it doesn't work. Without your ideas. Today was a little bit odd. We usually have not too much trouble getting all this down, but yeah, let's sort of struggle today. I don't know why. Let me end this poll. And right. So let's cycle on out in a second. So have you watched the Goonies movie? And so 88% out of 18 votes said yes. No, 5%. Not sure, 5%. Why the question? 0%. Okay, so you guys did not feel like it was an inappropriate question to ask while doing character building. I'm glad. Next time I will make sure I do not say the word villainous, so we can kind of do something a little different, because otherwise we wind up making villainous NPCs every single time, which is fine, but you know, sometimes it's better just to make a throwaway NPC rather than one that's so vital to the whole process. So I want to say a huge thank you to everybody who was in the chat today. I want to thank all of my patrons who support me on Patreon so I can do all of this sort of stuff. It's through you. You'll find that this NPC will make its way over onto Patreon, but it will be editable, so you will be able to, it's not a PDF, it will be an open document, so you can work on it if you want to, or do something with it. It's up to you. I want to thank Fred Hubber, Derry, Prepare, Cook and Survive, Buried Axe-Blade, Sensory Deport, Damon, and if I've missed you and I didn't mention your name, I do apologize. All of you who were in the comments section rolling dice and providing ideas, Pale Rider, really didn't make this a lot better to run. Like without you, Baron Lee, who was here, all of you really helped. Matt. Okay, so big, huge thank you to all of you. And thank you to everybody who took part in the poll today, or just was watching, or you know, you're rewatching the live stream. I do appreciate the fact that you might be rewatching the live streams as well. Okay, and wherever you are in the world, you know the story. Whether it be morning, afternoon, night, or the wee early morning, please look after yourself, your family, and your friends. Be nice to your neighbours. And hey, till next time, keep rolling those 20s. Yes, Fred, we need to do some storekeepers or shopkeepers. That's exactly what I should have made sure I titled it as. I should have done that. Sorry about that, people. Next time.